Jay.
Yeah.
Do your usual introduction.
My name's Jay. I'm 41 years old, ex-Special Forces, spent 10 years in the SAS, 4 years in the Parachute Regiment. Before that, I was, son to a good mother and father, brother to a man called Ben, and grew up in a northern town called Preston, served in mountain troop in the SAS, and then trained as a mountain guide in Germany for 2 years. Led expeditions to big mountains all over the world. Yeah, work as an expedition leader currently.
How many times have you said that?
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did it come naturally first time you had to say, hi, I'm Jay Morton?
No, I don't think talking about yourself, unless you're an absolute narcissist, a psychopath, is quite natural.
It's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got to give a speech to the London Fire Brigade for International Men's Health Day about testosterone. And, it's preparation prevents piss poor performance, doesn't it? Because, I don't like the idea of standing in front of people and going, hi, I'm Dr. Robert Stevens. It's just, it just feels so artificial, but you're raising a guard, aren't you, as well?
Yeah, and I think, look, give me a topic to speak about, and I'll talk about it all day, but I equally think there's something about, when I'm speaking about myself, there's definitely a feeling of, why the fuck would anyone be interested?
Well, I think that's good, isn't it? Because again, it does demonstrate that you're not a narcissist.
Yeah.
And you're not a complete sociopath.
Complete.
The jury's out, but it's it builds into imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Is that something that's featured in your life?
Yeah, for sure. Less so in the military career kind of things. I was very much take every day as it comes, but I think definitely finding, I think more the public speaking, finding myself speaking in front of corporate companies or companies that, I'm from a pretty humble background. Grew up in a northern town. My parents had good jobs, but I never excelled at anything. I was never exceptional at anything, and probably when I left school, looked at a lot of these companies now that I'm talking to and put them on a pedestal of, wow, these are some big organisations. I'll never be like a banker in London, and now I'm delivering a talk about myself and my life to a bank in London. I think probably at those moments I get a version of imposter syndrome. Like I said before, there's a feeling that I'm just like, what the hell am I doing here? I don't deserve the right to be here.
But I think that's actually a positive, and again, it's always turning that challenge into an opportunity and potential negatives into a positive, isn't it? Because that means that you're going to work hard and excel at the job that you've been given.
Yeah, I'm grateful of it. It's not like a disadvantage.
Well, complacency breeds contempt, isn't it? But just winding back, he said, you happy-go-lucky. You can't be happy-go-lucky in 2-2.
Yeah.
What changed?
I wouldn't label it as happy-go-lucky. I think I felt very at home being a soldier, so it came very natural to me. There wasn't moments where I thought that I shouldn't be here or that I thought that I couldn't do the job. It was always just a very natural process.
So it gave you the purpose that you perhaps didn't have before?
Massively, yeah, purpose. It gave me a team, or a common goal or a common purpose. It gave me purpose, it gave me discipline, it gave me direction, it gave me a family or a group of people, a team, whatever you want to call that. It kind of gave me all of that. So for me, it kind of ticked all my boxes as a man being the age of 19 to 34.
Okay, well, it's quite extreme, isn't it? So was there a defining moment? Was there a trend in your previous years to go, fuck, I need to do something that actually has purpose and meaning. I need to belong to a community. I need yeah, to belong, I think, is probably the
Yeah, I think two things. I think we see it as extreme from the lives that we live now, but I think going back to our previous conversation, I think it's pretty normal for like men to go off and fight in some sort of war. I think historically we've done it since the dawn of time, so we feel like it's a very extreme thing. But for me, I think it's probably a thing that men have always done, and men not should do, but I think it's quite a natural environment for us to be in. And then, yeah, I think growing up in Preston, I was, if I could chat to my younger self now, I'd put my arm around his shoulder and bring him in and tell him it's all going to be all right. But yeah, I was like a lost, 16, 17, 18-year-old boy that didn't really enjoy school. Didn't really like fit into the popular mold, or like the intelligent mold, or the sporty mold. And I think leaving the military, and I was kind of lost then. Like I said, I didn't enjoy school, so I went to college and didn't enjoy college and dropped out before the first year. And then I was working in a factory that sorted out parcels. So I became a forklift truck driver for a short period of my life. And then ended up working in a factory for a couple of years that made UPVC windows.
I remember listening to a podcast with Jocko, and he was saying about these opportunities, and he said, like, if I worked in a warehouse, I'd make sure that my segment of the warehouse was the best part of the whole warehouse.
Yeah.
So then I'd become the director of the warehouse, and then I would become the director of the company that runs the warehouse, because you do need that drive and determination, and so many people are just treading through water, aren't they? It's like it's sad to see people not living up to their full potential. But is the point you made earlier, it's like, what are we at our core? We're animals. We need to protect, we need to serve, and fundamentally live more according to our physiology. 2-2.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're obviously immensely proud of your career. Are you immensely proud of everything that you've done?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Beautiful career. Like, wouldn't change it for the world.
Even the dark stuff?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you were doing it.
Yeah, look, I mean, you can always put a retrospective hat on your head and like say that when you punched that kid in the playground that it wasn't the right thing to do, but not that I went around punching people in my special forces career, but you don't join the military or the special forces to avoid doing, I wouldn't even call it dark stuff, but ultimately the overall job was to try and change countries that we're in, and you do that in a way that is pretty obvious. But look, I think going back to what I said earlier, that men historically have always gone to war, and we've always done that as men, and I think that's a very natural thing to do. And for me, going away to foreign countries and working for my country to try and make another country better or safer, or try and make it safer for our troops on the ground that are trying to do an important role, I'm proud of that. There's definitely darker times serving in my military career, but at the end of the day, it's like it's all in the past. It's done. It's like I'm onto a new chapter, and my chapter is my life now, and it's, I don't know, I don't see any point in revisiting that stuff and thinking about it. It's done, dusted. I don't, I sit on everything that I did, and everything that we do in life creates a knock-on effect for you later on in life, and I've got a great life now. I'm grateful for it. So it's like,
yeah, it's Lao Tzu, isn't it? It's something that's depressed lives in the past, something that's anxious lives in the future. If you live in the present, that's essentially, it's all about these moments, isn't it? And again, you learn from the past to make your present amazing and be considered for the future. Yeah, and again, what did Ty say? True strength. No, what was
he
Ty's?
says a lot, to be fair.
his comment, because we need a better quote Ty came up with. To be truly honest, you need to be truly vulnerable.
Yeah.
Something like that. So
Yeah.
we need a better quote by the end of this conversation. We're going to have a leaderboard.
Right.
And then,
I'm no good on quotes. I've got a busy life. I ain't reading fucking Carl Jung.
So it leads nicely on to the next question, because I haven't heard this from you before. Why did you leave?
Probably a mixture of reasons, really. I think one of the biggest catalysts was going away and training to be a mountain guide. I think previously, like prior to that, I've always been heavily focused on being in the Special Forces and progressing my career in the Special Forces. And I think going away and being exposed to basically living in the mountains for 2 years and just seeing the beauty of the mountains, and there was definitely a moment whilst I was away that, I don't know, you see a different side of the world and you see what's possible. Like, I was just a kid from Preston, we don't have mountains, and I think seeing that was a big catalyst in terms of where I wanted to see my life go in the future. There was, operationally, I was quite fortunate to join at a time where operations were pretty, I won't use the term good, but they were, you know, as a soldier, it was what you wanted to be doing.
Yeah.
You know, 2006 in Afghanistan, you know, the first UK troops back on soil over there, you know, as being a 21-year-old boy, it was like just really grateful for it, like to work with such an epic team. And you know, Afghanistan was unfortunately the place that we went to quite a lot. And then as my time went on in my military career, you end up coming further and further away from where the actual action and fighting happens, which again I'm grateful for. Like, I never wish to be at the front end of the spear all the time, because I don't want to die.
Yeah.
Although that's the reality. And I think that the more that you're in combat situations, the more that you realise that, you know, peace
Shit
and
happens.
safety is it's a good thing to want. And I think you only get that from being exposed to it a lot. So the more you just end up being sat in an ops room or a command centre, which, if I'm being honest, is quite boring, or can be quite boring if nothing's going on in the area that you're working in. And like, I kind of didn't see that changing. You know, the longer that you're in, the more that you end up in a position where you're making decisions further back. The longer that you're in, the more you end up being less a frontline soldier and one of the boys, and you end up being sat on a computer writing a report, or sat in an office, or one of the various cells that we've got in Hereford. So I think that was just not a path that I wanted to go down. And I think, you know, unfortunately, you look at a lot of the people that have stayed in a long time, and it becomes very institutionalized. And I felt at the age of 34, I could, you know, leave and have a career doing what I wanted. A combination of those two kind of was just a big switch inside my head. I came back from being in Germany for 2 years and flew straight out on an operation. I got out there and all the lads were just licked. We say licked, which is basically just fed up almost, and they're all moaning. And I was just like, what the fuck am I doing here? And I think that was kind of a catalyst. And then obviously I was close with Louis and Staz, the Three Dart lads, and we were all talking about leaving and what we're going to do when we get out. And obviously, you know, they set up Three Dark, which is, you know, gone to exceptional places. And when I first left, I went and joined those boys. So everything kind of like tied into, everything kind of fell in place at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you have to evolve and adapt as a human being in it, and if the path that you're taking, you know, you can see that path, and it's going to become a dead end. You know, you're quite right that a lot of these guys become institutionalized, and they really struggle in normal day-to-day life when
100%.
they come back. And you know, we obviously see a lot of people with PTSD.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that person. It's that's a long road to recovery. So yeah, it was seeing the opportunities. You wanted to be in the mountains. So yeah, what was next after 2-2?
I kind of wanted to wait to a point that I had a plan. Like there was no part of me that just wanted to leave and not have a plan. So I obviously was chatting with Louis and Staz a lot, and when I left, joined the Through Dark team. So came out and did that for a period of time. And
how come you left? So you wanted to go in another avenue?
Yeah, you don't have to. I think we came, you know, certain things happened, and I think we all came to a point in time where we all butted heads. And you know, I think you have 3 ex-Special Forces soldiers who are all exceptional at their jobs, and you got 3 fucking massive egos, mine especially. And you know, I just think for whatever happened, that just didn't work. And
right, who keeps your ego in check?
Who?
Yeah,
I think you learn over time. Like, I think with age, you kind of the ego settles out. But I think, look, being in the Special Forces, it's like the perfect place to grow an ego. We're all kids from backgrounds, you know, not all of us, but a lot of us just came from normal backgrounds, and we're just normal kids that probably, like me, didn't feel like they fit in or had like a purpose out in the civilian world. So when you go into the military and then you go in the Special Forces, it's like you're tier 1. It's like you're the tip of the spear. You're the best, you know, in the best fighting unit in the world. It's like that comes with an ego, and like quite rightly so, because it also gets the job done. And I think leaving the military, you slowly start to peel the layers of the onion off. And I think things like going through the stuff with the lads at Through Dark and understanding like why I made my decisions and stuff like that, you slowly start to realise that you're just a human being again.
Yeah, I mean, you have to forge your own path, don't you? And I am going to give you a Carl Jung quote.
Go on, go for it.
In the first 40 years of life, you know, you're developing a healthy ego, and the next 40, you know, you're looking inwards to get rid of it.
I think that's so true as well.
Yeah,
so true. I think for the first, you know, first like 40 years, you're just charging. You're trying to prove yourself in the world. You're trying to be faster, stronger, fitter, better soldier. You know, you're trying to do all that stuff, and then you get to 40 and you're just like. But I equally think that the two kind of play off each other, because you spend so much time proving to yourself that you can do stuff in the first 40 years of your life that in the next 40 you kind of don't have anything to prove, or you have less to prove.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that's because of the perversity of this life? If we were fundamentally hunter-gatherers, we would just do what we would do, but we have that added layer of, you know, higher state of consciousness that sort of again adds a little bit of a complexity to our human existence.
Yeah, and like I think if we're hunter-gatherers by the age of 40, you'd be a granddad.
Yeah, you'd probably be dead after that when you
probably be dead and a granddad.
Yeah.
Dead granddad.
Dead granddad. I remember Jay.
Mate, hunter-gatherers didn't go on social media and see loads of dudes with six-pack abs and like loads of girls with their butts out and stuff. It's like
I always think about other animal species, and you know, another animal would grow up, learn all the skills it needed to learn to become an effective adult, and then it would just be an effective adult.
Yeah.
And what do we do as human beings? We sit in a classroom, we learn all the stuff we're supposed to learn.
Yeah.
And then you go, fucking hell, what do I do now? Oh, I'm supposed to do that. Well, I don't want to do that. Well, I want to do this. And then you wrestle with it, don't you?
Yeah, we've got a longer lifespan. We're an interesting creature, I think, on this planet for sure. Like everything else is pretty simple, binary lifestyle, like a dog, right? It just does what it's told, eats food, shits.
They don't.
It's pretty much my life.
They do what they want. Talk to me about the hills.
Mountains and stuff.
Yeah.
Whilst I was lucky to be exposed to it. Just having that opportunity of going out to Manaslu and going out to Everest, and you know, not having to pay 55 grand to go and do it was, you know, you get that opportunity in life, it's like you take it. There's the whole aspect of like, I love pushing myself, I love being out of my comfort zone, and which is it's weird because a lot of that stuff now I don't find difficult, like mountains, and obviously there's a technical aspect to it that I'd find difficult, but a lot of the physicality stuff just comes quite not easy. It's like difficult, but it's, I think, like I said before, you've kind of proved to yourself over time that you can do it, so that becomes less the challenge.
Yeah, that was kind of my point. It was the comfort in the discomfort, but the comfort in the discomfort in nature is priceless, isn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. I find going and doing that on my own less of, like, I get less fulfillment from it, which is why I take people up there, is because I love to obviously see people achieve things that they never thought possible, but also like what you get from it as like an experience, not just like being there and like standing on top of the world, which is actually, when you get up there, you realize that you're just on a bit of snow on a rock somewhere. But actually it's everything that comes with that. It's the fact that you've taken this leap in faith and believed in yourself, or gone through weeks of doubt, and you push your body and, like, you know, go through everything, the pain and like the time that it takes and the boredom and everything, and you stand on the top of this summit on the world, and then you come back home and go back about your daily business or work and stuff. And I think what people get from that level of personal growth and achievement and fulfillment and confidence, and I think that's why we do it.
Realizing your potential by fulfilling your potential. We're held back by our brains all the time, aren't we? You know, we did Kili together, didn't we? And it was utterly epic. It was challenging, but there was no moment where I thought, I'm not going to do it because I'm here, so I'm going to fucking do it, whatever. But every step on that summit night was like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
But what are you going to do? So, you know,
I know.
Can't stop. And I don't want to stop, but God damn, I kind of do, but I can't. So what are you going to keep going? And I think, you know, your respect is earned, Tor. The thing I took away from that was, you know, you said, you know, you're not the fastest, you're not the strongest, but I'm just going to keep going.
Yeah, for sure.
I think from a mental health perspective, that's such an important message.
Yeah, and that was kind of a reflective messages in pretty much everything in life, you know, regardless of how difficult it is. It's that you can use that mantra for everything. You know, even starting my own business has been probably one of the biggest challenges of my life, and every day I, you know, regardless of whether I say it to myself, like, if I can just keep moving in a direction and not get bent out of shape about how much work I'm doing, how little work I'm doing, if it's the right kind of work, and actually just going, all right, what have I done today? Like, how much have I moved in a direction that I want to move in? Like, what did I tick off? And I think if we can continue to do that in the right direction, and like, I still want to maintain a life outside of work and like friendships and connections and all that kind of stuff. It's like, you still need time for yourself and your health, and for your mental health and overall well-being.
So
that's a good thing.
On that note, I'm going to go back to my previous point. Who looks after you?
I look after myself.
Yeah, through reading, self-reflection, through just fucking keeping going.
Yeah, you know, I think a big part of it is I get a lot of fulfillment and gratitude out of the life that I live. Like, it's not a normal life. Like, I travel a lot. I challenge myself a lot, physically, mentally. I'm continually pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and I balance that with great people, great friendships, health. I'm not a piss can. I don't, you know, do drugs. I don't dive onto stuff on social media. I doom scroll like everyone else, but who the fuck doesn't? Does that mean I'm immune to it? Like, no. Like, there's been like hard times and struggles, and you know, I've, you know, experienced a lot of self-doubt. But again, if you go back to the analogy of just keep putting one foot in front of the other, that's all you can really do.
It's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, isn't it? It's like, just, I want to be better. It's like, you've got to fucking make yourself better.
Of course. Yeah.
You know, and again, going back to the SAS, you had a brotherhood, and then you left, and you had a smaller brotherhood, and then you left, and then, you know, it's finding your own path. And how do you do that? Keep fucking putting one foot in front of the other.
100%, and that's been a challenge itself. Is like leaving the military, and you know, everyone says, what was that transition like? And if I'm being honest, it wasn't hard. It was just different. You go from, look, I wanted to leave. I made the decision to leave. So there wasn't a part of me that held on to the past and went, oh, I miss it. Like, I wish I was still around the lads. I wish I was still doing this. It's like, no, that's a stupid man's way of thinking, because when you were there and you were around all the lads and you were doing all the stuff that you now wish you were doing, you didn't want to be there. So let's not visit that. That's like, because there have been times where I've struggled, you know, in my period between leaving and now, and I've gone like, oh, it'd just be so good if I was still in. And it's like, stop that way of thinking right now, because you wanted to leave and it was your decision. So it's a funny one, because you leave, and like, obviously all that happened with Stas and Louis and Through Dark, and I was probably in a period of my life where I've probably been the most alone in terms of like friendship groups and people around me. But again, if you want something, you have to go out and get it. And nothing, like, everything good in your life takes time to get. Like, you can't go out and just find a friendship group and all of a sudden have these connections and people to talk to and all that kind of stuff. That takes time and investment, just like a business takes time and investment, or a career, or a family, like everything, or a relationship. It all takes time and investment. So, you know, there's a period where I knew that that's what I needed in my life. Like, I like being around people. I'm naturally an extrovert. And that's been pretty much, you know, a 7-year cycle of leaving the military, and I wouldn't say finding myself, but I'd say losing.
That's okay.
But as in it never has felt like finding myself. I think it's been more of weirdly losing the identity of Jay the Special Forces soldier and finding who Jay is just as a human being out in the world.
But you have to, because it's interesting, isn't it? Because you have to play into it as well now. So like,
yeah, like everything.
Hi,
it's like 7 years later. It's like
you know,
I'm ex-special forces. Like yada. It's like people still, and you know, quite rightly so. You know, being in the SAS for 10 years is something that I'll always carry with me throughout my whole life. But it's funny how, like, 7 years on, it's like I could be 10 years on.
For the love of God!
Just like you're always an ex-special forces soldier.
Well, I think it's because obviously everybody holds you in high regard for what you did.
Well, it's like being a footballer, right? It's like you're always going to be a footballer, even if you're retired.
Yeah. A nice segue into Jimmy Aggery. He said like he lives a life of servitude now. So, you know, when we talk about ego and the fact that you've climbed Everest, you've achieved all of these things, but now you want to see people do the same things that you've done, and see that kind of enjoyment and fulfillment that people get from achieving their potential. Mm-hmm. I think from my perspective, you know, with what I do, I think that's the biggest thing. Like 5,000 plus patients all sat in that chair, and that they come in a state of, you know, varying kind of low mood, tiredness, low libido, blah blah blah, and it's my role to just support them on their journey, for them to take their own steps. Yeah. And, you know, as we say, you know, it's earn your reward, because it's such a satisfying and fulfilling role to have, just pushing somebody along the way, going, mm-hmm. still you're doing it.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, through my career, I've had a pretty intimate relationship with death, and I think, you know, historically for me, it's always been I think seeing that and witnessing how quickly life exits the human body gives you like a gratitude of the here and now. But I think the last few years, I think losing my father, my mum's still alive, but losing my dad, you know, the first parent that dies, you kind of go through life with these humans in your life, and you never really expect them to leave. Like they've always just been there since you were born. Seeing how this man of 72 years of age, you know, avid road cyclist, you know, that get knocked off his bike. You know, he did 200 miles the week that he got knocked off his bike on his push bike, and it's like, and you see like the human body just degrade over a period of 2 years to death, and then losing him. Like, I don't know, like I've thought about death a lot more since that happening, and I've thought about my own death, and like I now have this thing, and in a very grateful way, in a very like, you know, probably a lot of growth for me in experiencing it, and just, you know, when you see people out that are old, it's like I'll be that. And I think there's a realization, just like you feel like that you'll never lose a parent. There's definitely a thought inside me that I'll never get old, and I'll always be like I am now. My body will always be able to do what I can do, and that's not a reality. You know, I could be struck down with cancer, with dementias, with Alzheimer's, and we can do as much as we want to try and prevent that and live a healthy life, but I could just be one of the unlucky ones that gets that.
Yeah, I've just had a phone call with one of my guys yesterday who's had a couple of major things happen. And he's just going, fuck. They're the cards I've been dealt.
Yeah.
And it's about making the most out of this moment right now. And again, you know, what do they say? Health is wealth.
Of course, yeah.
You know, fundamentally look after your physical and psychological health. And I think the physical is relatively easy in comparison to the psychological. You know, we've got that awful statistic, you know, 3/4 of all suicides are in men. That is fucking disgusting. That needs to change. And I think, you know, hopefully conversations like this and future conversations that we're going to have, you know, around the campfire, you know, just are going to bring that semblance of, you know, we're all working together, mate.
Yeah, I equally think, like, the sad truth is the role of the man is diminishing in society, whereas we used to be this strong element that society, not just you know, the fact is, you know, a lot of, like, I'm gonna get plagiarized for this, aren't I? We can cut it, but like a lot of the world was built on men. Like, we went out, we found new lands, and we built villages and towns, and that's not in any way to discount the female role, the role of the woman in that. You know, I think they both complement each other beautifully, but there was this role of a man, and now that we all work from laptops, there's no need for a masculine figure that goes and, you know, takes over land and keeps people safe, keeps women safe, keeps their community safe. It's like that role's completely gone, but that role was the role of the male figure in society.
Are we believing it's gone because of social media and all the things that we're subjected to? So you can still protect your family, you can still do all those sort of manly things within your realm. I'm gonna use realm again.
Spirit realm.
Just stand up and be a man.
Yeah, look, I think everyone can be whatever they want to be. It's like, there's probably a role for feminine men in the world, but like, it's what can you do?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to be a feminine man.
Listen, that's the quote. That's the quote. I don't want to be a feminine man. Wicked. Yes, got it.
But I want to be a protector of, you know, I've been a protector for my whole life. I served in the military. I protected this country. It's like, I see it as my role, and, you know, a lot of the men that I share company with think the same. It's like, I want women to feel safe, and I want, you see the recent knife crime and stuff that we've had in our own hometown. It's like, I don't want women to walk around and feel like that they've got to watch over their shoulder all the time. Like our role as men in society is to make sure that doesn't happen, and to fight that violence with violence. Ultimately, that's what we've been there for in historic times.
A final piece of advice that you would give to somebody that's struggling?
There's probably quite a bit of advice. I've struggled myself, and I think the one thing that kept me going was hope. I knew that there was a time in the future I'd look back on this and go, I got through that. That's probably the biggest thing I'd say. And then look, I think the other thing that got me through was I kept myself, right? I kept my fitness up. I got up at I wasn't lounging in bed till 9, 10 o'clock. I got up at the same time I usually got up at. I ate healthy, like I avoided alcohol. I actually didn't want to drink. Like I'd still go for runs and go to the gym. I'd force myself to go and see people. I think as men, we can all too quickly isolate ourselves when we go through hard times. And actually, regardless of how you feel, you should still push yourself to go out and do the things that you've always done, and know that this too shall pass.
Good man, bring it in.
Give me a hug.
Good man.